Amy 係呢間 Innovative Title 嘅老闆啦，咁啊佢就幫我做好多 title work 嘅嘢啦。咁我覺得 title 嘅嘢等佢講係最好啦，最有權威啦。So can you tell us more about like how your company work and how to help our investors to close their transaction like that?
Sure. So most investors, when they buy properties, they really need to use a title company because we research the public records to make sure there are any liens that are on the property, that they're getting paid in full. When people try to avoid using a title company, the problem is that they're accepting the property as is, and a lot of times an investor may buy without using a title company, and then when it's time to sell, they realize that, you know, they paid money to a seller and there's liens on the property, and the seller has not been honest in saying that it's free and clear of any liens. So it's the best investment you'll make. It's just a one-time charge, and then the title company is a neutral party, a third disinterested neutral party that works for the benefit of the buyer and the seller.
Can you elaborate more on title insurance?
Yes, so the difference with title insurance as opposed to car insurance or health insurance is when you get car insurance or health insurance, you pay a regular monthly premium and it's for an event that happens in the future. But title insurance is a one-time fee at the time that you buy the property, but it covers an event that happened in the past before you own the property, but that comes about in the future, or it's brought up after you own the property, but it's actually covering something that took place in the past. And what it covers is, in our real estate industry, we're seeing a big spike in fraud. So people quit claiming properties, you know, to other people pretending that they're the owner, and we've been catching that in some of our title exams, and that's one of the biggest title insurance claims. So your owner's policy of title insurance protects against any fraudulent deeds that have been filed in the past that nobody realizes until somebody comes knocking on your door and says, I own that property, I never deeded it to you, so then you have a claim on your title insurance.
I think our investor would like to know more about, I know the US houses close really fast. Like when you do a cash deal, maybe you can close like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe a lending close in a month time there, right?
Yeah, depending on the lender. So, you know, on a cash deal, on a cash purchase, of course, we can close really quickly because we don't need a wet signature on any of the buyer's documents. We can send them through dot loop to sign electronically with just our wiring instructions. So it's easy to do the buyer. When they're using a lender, you know, we're subject to the lender being clear to close. And lender, you know, it's an ebb and flow. Their turnaround time varies depending on how many deals that they're working on in their pipeline. But also the other thing is we may have a cash deal, but if the title work comes back really messy, it may take a lot of time to clear it, and it may not even be something that can be fixed, you know. But that's another thing too. So
係啊，所以有時唔係話每一個 deal 都一定買到嘅，即係如果係有時我哋發現太危險嘅，其實你諗下佢哋如果有事要賠翻俾你，佢哋都唔會去做呢件事。咁所以你即係如果係真係去即係有晒所有嘅 step follow through，我哋有晒經驗點樣去做每一間屋去買賣，其實你哋係會得到好充分嘅 protection， 亦都會最後攞到個樓契咯。咁所以你話喺美國嚟講係成個 closing very fast 嘅，咁呢個係我哋嘅優勢啦。對比可能香港，就算借錢都係個零月，或者可能其他英國嘅可能去到6個月，即係講緊 second hand 嘅 house。咁但係喺美國其實2至4個星期都完成咗成個 procedure 可以，特別係 cash 買，咁係好重要嘅，因為你咁快去 closing， 即係即刻有 cash flow， 亦都唔會窒住你啲錢。 咁如果佢一個好重要嘅 tips 俾大家就係喺美國，如果你係 cash 買嘅，其實你 as 個 buyer， 你無論喺 Vancouver、西雅圖、你香港、馬來西亞、新加坡都好，你都可以 e-sign， 即係就咁 online log in。咁嗰個 platform 其實係 legal 認證嘅全世界，咁你已經可以即刻簽咗個名，就係 official 嘅嗰度。只不過係喺呢個 buying 嘅過程中，個 seller 咧就一定要做 notary 嘅，即係美國嘅 notary。咁但係 buyer 係唔使嘅，所以對我哋海外嘅買家嚟講咧係超級方便嘅。就算你一日過咗幾年要買翻間屋咧，可以去翻當地 embassy 做。咁其實一個 notary 嘅 fee 都係一個好平嘅一個數目，只不過可能要去 make 個 trip in person 就係咁樣。Okay, cool. But maybe one final word, the advice to our investor, if you have.
Oh my goodness. Well, it just, do your due diligence. There are some cities, and I don't know what it's like in the rest of the United States, but I know in the Cleveland, Northeast Ohio area, a lot of our cities require in their ordinance a point of sale inspection, and you're probably familiar with those. So make sure you do your due diligence, because some lenders, want, if the buyer's going to assume the violations that the city has found, they want the buyer to put money up front with the title company at close. And sometimes people will buy the property and assume those violations, but they don't realize that they have to front the money that it would cost to cure those items in addition to the purchase price. So sometimes they go under contract and then you're ready to close and they say, why do I need to bring all this money to close? I have that money to repair, but I need that to make the repairs. I can't additionally put it up front, to sit with your title company and the purchase price. So sometimes if you're new to this, you have to understand how those things work, the different ordinances. And then in the city of Cleveland, if you're buying there, we have to order, it's a disclosure, and it'll let you know if the property's condemned or not. So we get that back. And, us as a title company, when we get that document back, we do let the buyer know, hey, this is condemned. Now, some investors, they understand that. They've walked the property. They know it's probably considered condemned, and they're okay with buying it. But at least to have that transparency, because some title companies get that document back and just push it in front of a buyer to sign, thinking, well, it's up to the buyer to read that. But we make a point of telling, the investor who's buying it, hey, this came back showing it's condemned. We want to let you know up front, before you proceed. So just do your due diligence when you're buying a house.
Cool. That's very good advice.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.